Great to have you with us. Now, security personnel stationed at the entrance of the new courts complex here in Accra have pushed away young men, bussed and dropped off there to solidarize with Dr. Stephen Opuni, who is answering 27 charges against him in court. Some of them who spoke to Joy News' Komla Adum revealed they were brought there by the NDC party executives from Jamestown.
Scores of individuals. A bus just came and then offloaded hundreds of individuals who are currently making their way on the left side of the law complex of the entrance where we stand at the moment. And it is at the moment unclear what the identities of these individuals are. They are not wielding or they are not wearing any party colors, but I see them numbering over 100. And they are walking and marching. Actually, they've been directed by the police to march towards the opposite side of the entrance of the law complex. And young men, young women, and I've heard them, some of them shout that they are here for judgment. I do not know exactly what judgment they say they are here for. But that's the situation here at the law complex, directly opposite the law complex, where scores of individuals who were just brought in by a bus have been told by the police to use the other side, the other end of the entrance of the law complex, and they are moving towards the entrance. I will be trying to speak to a few of them to find out what it is they are here to do exactly. And once I get them, we will speak to a few of them to pick their thoughts on why exactly they're here. I can see the police also bracing up, making their way towards the center of the median, actually. They're making their way towards the median. Joined by some of them briefly, I'll find out from them.
Mukubani eba duoshia wana glass and courts and oago be one elephants
na money Kenya ba benye mahale fan
over on kwa ko ba be
me onukwa ejino
abenye wo yin so abenye le kegbe
shinje party nini
over arabia ke endi so npako
okay no anya Kenya fan ba
over
ni bohu ingbe anabo ye na chebo akeshin oba no ba
over now Jamestown and about na chebo kajeje
wonyenye
ti esani meni ko ba ame tun agele kin loko se ame ke wo no go ame ke wo ba no wo ba ni wo ba appreciate more.
I just spoke to 3 of them. They tell me that they were bussed here by some party leaders of the NDC. They do not know exactly why, but they were just told that they were coming to hail one of their members who is suspected to be in court in a short while. So that's why they are here. The police are actually shepherding them a few meters away from the court complex, the entrance of the court complex. So that's the situation here at the moment. I'm sure many more people will be joining us because we are told that some 50 buses are coming. And so as and when these make their way here, we will bring them to you live here on your most reliable news source, Joy News.
Now, another incident was recorded earlier in court where some NDC sympathizers complained of harassment by the police. So as you can see in your shots there, you can see some sympathizers of the NDC there exchanging words with the police personnel who are guarding the entrance to the new court complex here in Accra. You can see they are guiding them away from the entrance to the new court complex. We understand the court room was full today to capacity. Of course, our cameras are not allowed in there, but reports we receive tell us that the court room was full to capacity, and so not everyone was allowed to go inside. You can imagine, with people being bussed to their premises alone, you can imagine the number of people who were in the court premises. So more youth there, more young men there being ushered out of the court complex. Now, the cars you just see in your screen, in your shots there, are cars bringing in Dr. Stephen Opuni and Mr. Sedio Agong, who are the accused in this case. Dr. Stephen Opuni has arrived at the court complex, and will be bringing you those pictures shortly. Yeah, so there you have it, the legal team of Dr. Stephen Opuni, former CEO of COCOBOD. They are facing 27 charges together with Mr. Sedio Agong. You can see Dr. Opuni there in his blue suit and blue tie, wearing his dark glasses. He's flanked on the left by a queen mother, well, a traditional ruler of sorts, who is a female, walking in briskly, robustly with his team there. entering the court complex where today the hearing begins. Of course, this hearing has been embroiled in controversy, with the latest party to accuse government of witch hunting being the family of Dr. Stephen Opuni. Now, the family is saying that some key members of the NPP government, being Kennedy Japan and Health Minister Kweku Agyemang-Manu, are involved in this prosecution. Right, so now we know Dr. Stephen Opuni is there, Seydou Agong is there. The court proceedings are underway as we speak, and everyone in court covering today's court hearing was earlier ordered out of the courtroom due to overcrowding. Now, Joy News' Joseph Akable, who is among the press corps, tells Joy News it took them a while for them to be recalled back into the chamber. So we'll get more details from this court proceeding when we do have them, but a very interesting way of handling this particular court case. Information we have is that everyone in court, particularly the pressmen in court, were asked to exit, and when they were coming back in, they were screened before they could go back to court to cover the proceedings. And of course, that is what you saw, that some people were being asked to get out of the courtroom, and obviously they did not understand. But our man in court, Joseph Akable, is in the courtroom. Komla Adom is at the premises outside the courtroom, bringing you more and more details here on your Joy News channel when we have them. But let's move to the eastern region now, where residents of GCD Walker and Amanfrom Camp, all suburbs of Akwetia in the Denchampo district of the eastern region, hit the streets this morning to protest 4 months of continuous power cuts. The residents complain they have been sleeping in darkness since the Volta River Authority VRA cut their power supply last year. They demonstrated this morning to tell authorities they've had enough. Joy News' Kofi Siao is with them and joins us on the line. Good afternoon, Kofi. What is really the situation behind the 4-month power cut? Unfortunately, we lost Kofi Siao there on the line, but as you can see those pictures on your screen, you see various placards that were designed by the residents of GCD, Walker and Amanfrom Camp. We want power. Power Minister, your silence won't help us. No power, no votes. Now, these people say they have been in darkness for 4 months. The situation, as explained to us by our man on the ground, is that they were receiving direct power supply from the Volta River Authority VRA as a result of their proximity to the mine there. But that mine was procured by the Jospong Group, and after that, the power supply by the VRA was cut to the town. As a result, they have not had electricity coming to them for the past 4 months. Today, they are demonstrating and demanding that power is supplied to them. They are from 2 communities, the GCD Walker electoral area and Amanfrom Camp, all near Akwetia in the eastern region. We'll come back to the story as and when we have more details. Now let's move to one of the biggest stories spilling over from last week. I'm speaking of the US-Ghana military agreement, and the minority in parliament has dismissed social media posts purporting to be the vote and proceedings of parliament on the controversial defense cooperation agreement between Ghana and the United States of America. The posts, according to the NDC minority, suggest that the majority of legislators who recommended the ratification of this controversial agreement in 2018 came from among their ranks. Now, on Joy News' news analysis show Newsfile last weekend, Defense Minister Dominic Nitiwo also made similar claims against the NDC MPs, claiming that 14 MPs from the NDC voted for the defense deal to pass, while only 10 MPs from the governing New Patriotic Party NPP approved same.
His members were 14. The NDC members were 14. The NPP members were 10. We finished the whole deliberation. We sat from around 9:30 to over around 9 p.m. Clause by clause, clause by clause.
You sat from 9:30 a.m.
Yes.
to 9 p.m.
Close to 9 p.m.
Okay.
And we went through the process clause by clause, clause by clause, with 14 NDC members and 10 MPP members. The names are all here. You can look at it. Then the committee took the decision to recommend it to Parliament. Yes.
So
for adoption.
The NDC, you say, constituted majority at
the committee level
and recommended that this be approved.
Approved.
So what we saw yesterday
That's why I asked the
was
question.
a hypocritical demonstration.
Very. I don't want to use that word.
We are told that that does not reflect the facts.
Okay, tell me.
James.
Thank you very, very much for giving me this opportunity, because this is one of the palpable falsehoods that has been put out there in the public
Respond
domain.
to it directly.
Yes, something. He gives the impression that we sat in the committee and the majority members of the NDC voted and recommended. That is not true. Let me take you to Order 211 of the standing orders. There was no voting at the committee. Take my words, and he would agree with me. The committee never at any point in time vote. If we had voted, you see, these are the...
There are recommendations here in the report.
These are the votes.
And if you constituted the majority as claimed, what is your reaction to
these
that?
are the votes and proceedings. If we had voted, the voting pattern would have been captured. Okay? Check the minutes of the proceedings.
So you have opened to an order which you haven't read.
Division in committees. Every division in the committee shall be taken by the clerk of the committee, asking each member of the committee separately how he desires to vote and recording the votes accordingly. These are the votes and proceedings. In taking the division, the names of all members of the committee shall be called in alphabetical order. When a division is claimed in a committee, every member of the committee present, unless he expressly states that he declines to vote, record his vote, either a yes or no's. The clerk of the committee shall enter in the minutes of the proceedings a record of each member's vote. A member must vote according to his voice. That was not done. What transpired at the committee level was that we raised collective objections led by myself, and he would testify to that fact. I first and foremost took an objection founded on Article 75 of the Constitution, which was a matter, if upheld, would have thrown the entire agreement away. But of course, the committee lacked the competence, because it boils down to constitutional interpretation. Article 75, you know what it says? It contemplates that before an international agreement is brought before Parliament, it would have been executed. He conceded that that agreement was never executed. So what came before us was a draft agreement. So I led the minority, took the objection that we were called upon to ratify something, an agreement which was not executed. So legally speaking, it was not even an agreement.
James Agal got there speaking on Newsfile last Saturday. Now, let's take you back to that earlier story where residents of GCD Walker electoral area and Amman from camp near Akwete in the eastern region are demonstrating over a 4-month interruption in power supply. We've been joined on the line by Kofi Siao. He's a man on the ground. He's been with the demonstrators. Kofi, is it the case that these people have not had electricity at all for 4 months?
Yes, exactly that. That's it. What they are saying that since sometime last year, when the VRA cut supply of power to the GCD area, they have been sleeping in the dark. You know, these areas are suburbs of the GCD. They fall within the operational, area of the mining firm. So once the VRA cut supply to the mining firm, it automatically affects them. So it's been affecting them for the past 4 months, and they say they cannot bear the stress anymore. So today they hit the streets to protest against what they say is a cut of supply of power for the past 4 months. Let me talk to Honorable
Kofi,
John.
do we know why?
Hello?
Do we know why the power to VRA cuts the power? I mean, to GCD.
Well, what the people claim is that the mining firm has not been paying electricity bills. They owe VRA, so VRA has no other choice but to cut supply of power to the area. That is what the residents say.
Right. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so I have with me here John Osborne Kwanzaa, who is the assemblyman for GCD Walker electoral area. I want him to throw more light on it. Honorable, tell me, besides the fact that the VRA has cut power to this area, what again are your concerns?
Yeah, we said we want them to migrate us to ECD, so they will meter every household. At the end of the month, whatever power you consume, you pay for it. Currently, the VRA power is a direct power to every household. That has resulted to this big debt that the company is owing VRA. So we want them to migrate us to UCD. That one will be the best choice for us.
Okay.
So tell us the other challenges. You know, you talk about the power cut affecting education, health, and all that.
Right,
yes,
Kofi.
It has affected education seriously. My electoral area has won head of state award for 11 consecutive times. Currently,
Kofi out there in Akwesi speaking to some demonstrators there, but we'll go back to that story in later bulletins. Stay tuned to Joy News as we bring you the latest on that protest there. But let's go live to the court premises now and speak to Komla Adom on the happenings with regards to the court case concerning Dr. Stephen Opuni and Mr. Sedu Agong. Good afternoon, Komla. What is the current situation there at the new court complex? Right, Komla Adom there is our man on the ground at the Accra High Court, the new court complex here in Accra. And the information that we have also is that the former Chief of Staff, Julius Debra, former Deputy Communications Minister, Felix Ofosu-Kwakye, Sherry Aite, former Fisheries Minister, former Attorney General, Marietta Brewer-Pierre-Opong, former Transport Minister and former Deputy Transport Minister and current spokesperson for John Dramani Mahama, Joyce Bawuah-Mokhtari, and former Tourism Minister Elizabeth Ejare are also in the court. But we have Komla Adom now. Komla, what more can you report from the court?
And then went in. I'm told that the case is yet to be heard or to be called. But some top NDC executives, I've seen Johnson Esedun Ketia walk in. I've seen Kofi Adams, for example. I've seen Julius Debra. I'm told that Sherry Aite, former Tourism Minister Elizabeth Ejare, among others, are all seated in the courtroom. So the situation at the moment, there's heavy security presence here at the court premises. It is unusual of any court sitting or any court proceeding here. Right at the entrance of the court complex, there are police officials numbered over 15. They are fully armed police officials, and they are about 15. And inside the premises itself, there are, I could count about 5 or 6 others who are clad in CID attire. And to my left, which is towards the National Theatre area, there is an armored vehicle, a police, crowd control vehicle over there. And to my right, there is a form police unit armored vehicle just stationed here. And right opposite where I stand are tens of individuals who have thronged the court premises here to either lend support to Dr. Opuni and Mr. Adongo, whose cases are going to be heard in a short while. And also Daniel, a short while ago, another group of individuals numbering about 15 came drumming and dancing from this side, but they were stopped by the police in their tracks from making noise and were ushered to the other side, and they've been pushed some 500 meters away from the entrance of the court complex. So the situation at the moment, heavy security, I can report more than 45 police officials are here. Operation Calm Life vehicles are constantly patrolling the stretch. I can also report that Dr. Opuni has walked in the presence or in the company of his son and his lawyers. Some top NDC officials are also here. But Daniel, earlier I had a brief conversation with one of the NDC executives here. He was involved in a mini scuffle with the police officials. They were preventing them from entering. Apparently, the NDC officials had gone in there to secure seats for former MPs, former ministers of state, the NDC officials, but they were asked to walk out of the premises, and so it ensued a mini brawl of a sort ensued, and some mini scuffle that the police had to usher them out. So I spoke to him earlier on. He says the harassment by the police officials are unacceptable and they will not tolerate that. So Daniel, that's the situation briefly I can report from the law complex here in Accra.
Thank you very much, Komla Adum, for that detailed report. We'll come back to you in later bulletins when we have more to report. Komla is our man on the ground there at the Accra High Court, New Courts Complex. Now, you want to stay with Joy News because 2 people have been arrested at Akakpo-Kope in the Volta region over 6 people who have died after eating banku some 3 weeks ago. We'll bring you details after the break. Two people have been arrested at Akakpo-Kope in the Volta region over 6 people who have died after eating banku 3 weeks ago. The Food and Drugs Authority said it's found a toxic substance commonly used in pesticides in the banku after testing. The South Tongue District Security Council is currently locked up in a meeting over the matter. Here's Deputy Volta Regional Police Commander DCOP Ebenezer Francis Joku speaking about the arrest.
The arrest of 2 people who are suspected to be implicated in the death of the 6 that are currently at the morgue waiting burial. To give you a gist about what we've done so far, we have done extensive investigations. We're going to do a post-mortem at the police hospital on the 6 bodies.
Now, the FDA about a week ago stated that they found a toxic substance in the corn flour that was used, and that chemical is actually found in pesticides. Per your preliminary investigations, does it reveal a deliberate act of poisoning?
From where I sit, I will not be able to tell you anything that may have caused the death because I'm not an expert, and I believe that is the basis for which the police pathologist is asking for toxicological tests to be done at the Standards Authority.
Now, Managing Director of the Trasaco Estates Development Company, Ian Morris, says the construction of a 300-bed hotel and residential houses at Adafwa will provide jobs and change the fortunes of residents there. Ian Morris made this known on the sidelines of a stakeholders meeting that brought together chiefs and residents of the area to discuss the way forward.
What we were alluding to is that there's going to be 350 jobs coming from that resort. And those are sort of long-term jobs for 20 years, 30 years. It's not a 5-minute flash-in-the-pan job. There'll be another 200 jobs during construction. So, but that's a shorter period, maybe only 2-3 years, and then the hotel operational period is much longer. And with all of that, there's a lot of skills transfer, training, and the people will have a proper job instead of being maybe a subsistence farmer or a subsistence fisherman. That job working in the resort, there's scope for promotion, there's a proper pay scale, a proper job that you will have for years and years and years, and that hopefully when you have a proper job like that, you can take out bank loans, you can build a future, you can work out how your children are going to go to school, go to university. It's a lifetime piece of employment.
Now, the project is sited very close to the Ada estuary and is expected to boost Ghana's tourism industry when completed. Head of Design at Trasacco, Phil Obinsaki, says the project will be one of a kind.
That whole resort development, which actually entails 220 guest rooms, 80 which will be in a main building, and after which the rest will be chalets. In addition, there will be a spa and a clubhouse, as well as restaurants, conference facility. And so what we're trying to create is something special for Ghana and put Ghana on the map. In addition, there will be private villas towards the estuary sides, which overlook the Gulf as well as the River Volta. And these will be two-bed villas, which will have a thatch roof, so it's still in keeping with the area. And I think it will be great for the country, especially as well. And we're trying to, as mentioned, we're trying to put Ghana on the map. And it's been a great project, which we're glad to see it built.
Now, it was an adventure most patrons have described as unforgettable. Walking on water and participating in a bonfire night was just the tip of the iceberg. Nancy Emefa-Juadosi conquered Ogwa with the team, then overcame a height of 885 meters above sea level at Afayato. And now, she walked on water and has come through with this report.
It was a long drive to the western side, 6 good hours. In our quest to see what it felt like living on water, we saw this beautiful edifice, a fort. Most of us had no clue which fort it was.
Fort Apollonia.
Apollonia Forts? Tour guide, I beg, take over.
Saint Antonio, and the fort is now 503 years, and the second oldest after Elmina Castle.
This little girl came to learn a lot about this fort.
I learned that they kept the slaves in a cell. They kept them in the cell for 12 hours, and they took them out for 12 hours too.
But the rest, what did you learn?
1, 2, 3.
Nanying. They only came to have fun.
Okay, so we are just about to take off. We are finally headed to Insulezu. People, are you ready?
Ready.
Right.
It was one of the best feelings in the world. The journey to get there alone was enough for us. After a few minutes on the lake, we lifted our heads and oh, there it was, the beauty of the whole community on stilts. We were taken around this community.
The way the kids are swimming in the river, I can't do that. So I'm very happy, I'm very excited.
Wait, we are not done. It's a wrap, people.
It was fun. I liked it because of the boat ride.
You definitely can't miss the kayaking at Volta region, in the Volta region, I should say, this weekend. This is where we take a break for business with Emmanuel Abajiriafi. Stay with us.